Content strategies for Facebook. So with here, we're going to look at how we can use Facebook. Now, a lot of personal trainers and online personal trainers in general tend to focus a lot more on Instagram. But if your audience is a little older, Facebook is a better platform for a lot of people. I personally get more out of Facebook than I do out of Instagram, and a number of other coaches do as well. So it's certainly worthwhile doing it. The worst thing I see is online coaches who are much more focused on the visual and aesthetic sides of training, focusing entirely on Instagram at the expense of their Facebook profile. They're missing out on leads, basically, and we want to be in as many places as our leads are. And one of the key things that you need to remember is if you rely on one platform for all your leads, if you get shut down of that platform, that lead generation tool is effectively dead for that period of time. So it is of vital importance to use multiple lead generation tools all the time and not neglect one just because you don't think the content hits there or doesn't have as much reach. Okay? It's very important to do that, and it also helps you build up audiences. Now, some of the things that you can do on Facebook that are really, really good is sharing personal thoughts and opinions. Generally, the users on Facebook prefer more personal, authentic, longer form content versus Instagram, which is image driven and more driven on aesthetics and fast attention spans. On Facebook, when you put your personal views or thought-provoking posts, you can generally get a much higher level of engagement, which you can then lead into conversation, which can lead into sales conversations, which is really important. So it's really good in Facebook to do reflections and insights or thought-provoking content in there and motivational posts, because you can write really long, detailed captions of your clients and the results and the things they've gone through to get a really high level of engagement. And one of the things on Facebook that most people don't do is they don't post on it. So when they do post something like this, it actually gets a real spike in their engagement, which is really, really useful for, obviously starting conversations so you can move more people through your funnel towards sales. Okay. And also, and this happens for across all platforms, respond to comments. Don't let people, be on red, basically. If someone makes a comment, respond to it. You never know where that conversation is going to go. It's certainly worth doing. And every time you comment on the post, it boosts you on the algorithm further, exactly the same as Instagram. The goal is to be more visible. The more eyes on you, the better off you're going to be. Now, you can certainly repost Instagram content with a new twist. And generally, doing different captions or some contextualization is really important. So craft a narrative for Facebook, okay? Write a longer, more detailed approach. Because Instagram, you've got a character limit. On Facebook, you don't have as much. So you can really get more detailed into it, and you can write more and more about it and tell more of a story, which is, again, one of the advantages of the Facebook platform over the Instagram platform. You can also repurpose it and just adjust the format for it so it fits in there, and basically have it automatically come up on your Facebook feed or your Facebook business feed so more people see eyes on your content. What I'll often do is have stuff automatically posted to my business page and then repost it with a directive to go follow on Instagram on the personal page. And what that does is people who may not necessarily follow on Instagram will then go check it out and then follow the account. And again, that gives you another another stream of audience. The last thing that you can also do, which isn't mentioned here, is that these posts can also go into groups that are relevant for that particular form of content. So what I mean by that is if you're working with PCOS, for example, and you're doing posts on PCOS, finding PCOS groups and actually posting your content in there as a way to help people is a really good way to generate leads. And we go through that in our Facebook group formula. But just for now, start looking for groups that actually reflect your niche, and you can post that content in there, and it's going to be really, really useful for helping you get more people following your stuff. So combine both processes, have some Facebook individual content there. Okay, so just for Facebook where you write stuff, use personal posts there, have diverse content, put your stuff across both platforms, but really have a look at which one's going to work. And that's the most important thing. Identifying what content style works for you across what platform is going to be the best thing to grow your business moving forward. I know that written content on Facebook performs better than even visual content. So on Facebook, I'll often put visual content and I'll use that to test. And whichever one gets a good response, I'll actually repurpose that into a carousel for Instagram. And that's been a really successful strategy for actually getting people to engage and then signing them up as clients. So make sure you don't neglect Facebook. Slightly different content strategy for Instagram, but they can certainly have a good collaboration between each other.